What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Naked News. This is your anchor, Yoyo speaking. Today, I would like to say something about the president of Venezuela, Maduro. Yes, he was arrested by Mr. Trump, and there were so many secrets and tricks behind the arresting. Let's see them one by one. President is just a title, and this title was used by Maduro. He used this title to bring convenience to his drug selling business. So to know more about it, we need to know in Venezuela there is an organization named Cartel de los Soles. So this organization covers many regions in Latin America. So basically it works like this. First, they will collect money in Venezuela. And in Cuba, they will send some people to the States and build up the networking in the States. The third step is to manufacture drugs in Mexico, and those drugs will be sold to the US finally. So this is the organization, and behind the big boss was Maduro. This is the reason Mr. Trump is making the command to arrest this person, because many people in the States were died because of the drugs. According to the data, during the past 20 years, on US drug market, at least 70% of the drugs has something to do with this organization. This is also the reason why at the beginning of December 2025, Trump decided to arrest this person. But this task was extremely difficult because Maduro seldom appear in public. It would be tough for American people to find this person. And because recently on Caribbean Sea, American military affairs was strengthened and empowered. That's why he was afraid. It's quite difficult to locate his place. But on January the 2nd, chance finally came. Chinese envoys was sent to Venezuela and met with Maduro. He decided to show up in public and do everything by himself. The reason is as following. Because Chinese envoys brought many contracts and agreements, and these aims at to strengthen the cooperation between these two countries about fuel as well as the military affairs. If he asks someone else to do it for him, it doesn't sound proper or polite. That's why he decided to show up physically. And the meeting lasted for 1 hour. And on January the 3rd, when Maduro and his wife was about to hide, suddenly they were arrested by American people successfully. And everything was so fast and so smooth. 6 hours later, they were sent to the New York. Yes, that fast. I wonder if they used the DHL service. I don't know how many of you are from the States. As far as I knew, it would be quite difficult for the president to start a war because in the state, the laws of wars are quite strict. If the states want to start a war, it means only councilors can vote and decide, and the president would not have the power to do so. So, this is the reason why, from the beginning to the very end, Mr. Trump only announced that they are catching a drug dealer. They never said war. Yes, he is the president of Venezuela, but in the eye of Trump, he is just a drug seller. There are so many mysteries and the secrets behind the arresting tasks that I don't understand. First is that in the capital city of Venezuela, they purchased so many radars from China. However, Mr. Maduro was arrested successfully. So I really want to ask this person, Mr. Maduro, did you spend 9.9 China yuan and bought those radars on Pinduoduo? They're not even working at all. Last but not least, I would like to mention something about fentanyl. Fentanyl is a kind of painkiller, but this is also used as drug. Actually, fentanyl was almost monopolized by China side. I mean the manufacturing. So the first step is to manufacture the first part in China, and the second part will be done in Mexico, and then Mexico will sell fentanyl to the US. Every year, there were at least 100,000 people died because of fentanyl. This is the reason why, for fentanyl, the tariff rose to 125% by Trump. And also, at the same time, Trump started tariff war to China. China had no choice, because if China wants to survive, then it has to come to terms, and it did so. The China government assisted US government to arrest all the big bosses of China drug networking. But this is not enough, because to get more survival space for the future of China, the China government needs to show the states that their attitude is good enough. They resist all the drug sellers. So here is my analysis. First is that China and the state reached an agreement for the arresting task. Second, China sent Chinese envoys met with Maduro. And the third is China turned off all the radars remotely, and Maduro was arrested successfully. I'm not 100% confident to say all of these were the truth, but if you want to say China had nothing to do with all of these, I don't think so. And I don't think Maduro would believe that in a jail. It's quite possible that Mr. Maduro is not watching our show, but if someone knows him, please let him know. Here is a letter for him. Señor Maduro, ¿crees que tu amigo te engañó? Sí, yo también lo creo. Si quieres sobrevivir, necesitas hacer amigos con la misma pasión, no con alguien que te odie igual. La marca de China es Huawei, no Huawei. La H no es muda en chino, es J. Muchas gracias y buen viaje en Estados Unidos. All right, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for coming today. And I know some of you are from the States and some of you are also speaking Spanish. So I have a small request, that is to rate my language. Thanks again, and see you soon in my next show.